Okay, we are live, guys.
Oh my gosh. Yay, love it. Her first live. So
Guys,
excited.
so Kat normally hosts these things, and she's phenomenal at it. This is my first go being on this side, so shout out to Kat.
You'll be fine. You got this. You got this. Oh, I don't got this, clearly.
Okay, our YouTube friends are jumping over to this live, so
Okay.
I'm gonna end the YouTube stream so they can get it
They
from the.
said that we're here.
Okay, sweet. All right,
So I see them.
nice.
Can hear you both now. Perfect.
Okay,
Yay.
everyone's here. It all worked out. Yay.
Yes.
Okay, great. We are. Shay is on the way.
Yes.
Um, I know we have people from my LinkedIn, your LinkedIn, Cozy Cloud Crew. Maybe some quick introductions while we wait.
Everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Want me to go first? I can do a little
Yeah.
jump in. So hi, if you don't know me, I'm Kat. I'm the co-founder with Shay of the Cozy Cloud Crew. I also work at HP as a technical consultant, and I've been in tech for about 4 years now, which is crazy. 3 or 4 years. And I love it. Tech is a good place to be. So
We
yeah.
love that for Kat.
Yes.
Those of you who might not be from the Cozy Cloud Crew, Kat is the co-founder along Shay, like she just said, and they have what, over 6,000 people in your Discord now?
Yeah. Which is crazy. So many different people came in from everywhere. If you're from a different country, I can promise you'll find some friends in there.
Yes, and shout out to everyone who's from different countries. I know it's pretty
Yeah,
late depending on where you're at in the world, and so the fact that people are tuned in at like 1 o'clock in the morning, kudos to you.
I know. Y'all are determined, and I love it. We love to see it.
For those of you who may not know me and you found me through the Cozy Cloud Crew, my name is Alicia All. Kat and Shay reached out to me and asked to help collaborate on some labs that we did for the DevOps Challenge, and I was
Mhm.
immediately welcomed by the Cozy Cloud Crew.
It's
Just
what we
as
do.
So I've enjoyed interacting with you all. You guys take this so serious. You all are so eager to learn, and it just makes it all worth it on my end. I currently work at Microsoft as a technical program manager. So I took the initiative to build out the Azure component because, right, we're a cozy cloud. um, and yeah, I've been in tech since 2018. So what is that, like 7 years? I'm dating myself.
Yeah. That's a hot while ago, but we love it.
Been a minute, but I started off actually as a cloud solution architect. So I
Mhm.
was helping Microsoft's customers move into the cloud, build out solutions in the cloud, and then decided to join the product group. So I'm super excited to be here with you guys, learning and studying.
Love it. I have a question like for you now that you mentioned like where you work. So, has that influenced you at all to stay with one cloud versus another, or are you still kind of working your way through all the different clouds?
Yes, that's a great question. So honestly, where I'm at right now, I am in my phase where I'm going deep on Azure solely
Mhm.
because, I work there. There's so many things that are changing on a day-to-day basis. There's more than enough to do in one
Yeah,
cloud.
with any cloud, yeah.
Team cloud, no matter where you're at. But what I guess answering that question from a perspective of someone who's seeking employment, I would say I would think about, do I want to work at one of these big tech companies? And if I do, then maybe that's the cloud that I would focus on. If not, then maybe mix and mingle, date around.
Data around the cloud, you know.
Don't lock yourself into one cloud. Like as we say on all of our streams,
Mhm.
once you learn one, it's kind of simple to transfer
Synonymous.
over. Like not
Mhm.
it's doable. Okay, let's pull. We got Shay,
Yes.
guys. Shay's at the stage. The whole crew's here. Okay, cool. I guess before we jump in, Shay, just to bring you up to speed real quick, we just did a quick introduction of who we are. So, Kat, of course, had
Mhm.
said that you are the co-founder of the Cozy Cloud Crew. But if you want to add anything into that about who you are, go for it, homie. She just got back from New York, guys. Like
I
Shay,
know, she is jet setting around
think she's gonna do like Dubai tomorrow. I don't know.
at this point. You're muted,
You're
Shay.
muted.
The whole time I'm talking, I'm muted. Anyway, yes, my name is Shay. I am the other half of the Cozy Cloud Crew. I am a cloud engineer and also a developer advocate, and just excited to always kind of fulfill my passion of helping other people either get
Mhm.
into tech or further their careers in tech already, and especially for the free. We love helping people out. And so I'm excited to be here. Alicia is the GOAT when it comes to Azure, whatever. And so as you guys are learning, I'm also learning too, because I want to take the certification for the AI one. And so I'm ready. I'm ready to dive in. I got my book. I got my snacks. I'm ready to learn. Alicia.
It's lit. Yeah, I guess Shay, since you went ahead, that was one of the questions I had for you guys. Kat, do you want to announce maybe not the number, but what section you want to focus on? Are you going for the fundamentals or AI?
I think I need to figure out after our first session, because I am so new to Azure. Like, I have not touched it with a 10-foot pole, as I said in our last live. So I need to see how synonymous it is. I know that we've all discussed that once you know one, you should be able to creep into the other. But want to make sure we are aligned on that for real. So
Smart.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll save it at the end and see how you feel. We won't put
exactly.
Okay, I wanted to kick this guys off before we get into like how to study, what to study, where to go. I know there's people who are probably like you all who started off in one cloud, moving into Azure. I want to do this or that really quick, just to answer some of the questions around how we study and what's effective and give out some gems. So the first one for this or that is going to be learning directly from the cloud vendor themselves or using third-party courses like Udemy or Pluralsight.
Shay, do you want to go first? Do you want me to? Because I got some opinions.
Me too. I would say for this, I like this, Alicia. Kudos to you. Okay, she's killing it already.
She's on it.
Right. I would have to say to actually learn the fundamentals, right? So there's two things when it comes to certifications. It's not like you're learning the services hands-on. The certifications are testing just your knowledge. Like, what tool would you use for this in this scenario? It's a lot of scenario-based questions. Whereas if I was studying to actually understand the services, like really in depth, I would use the vendor's platform because they have labs, it's built in. Clearly, that's the first place you would go to. And they're usually like free tier. But if I'm studying for a certification specifically, I really feel like the vendors, they kind of do a lot. Like they add on too much information, where if I go straight to Udemy to one of the professors I like, they're going to tell me what to study and that's it. You know what I mean? Like no extra fluff. Help me pass the certification and then I'll go back to my labs. You know what I mean?
I think like the opposite of that. So when I was studying for the AWS practitioner, if I was solely focusing on the like AWS's study guides, I would not have passed completely. And I would not have learned as much as I did with them alone. But with Udemy or Pluralsight or even YouTube, like that's where I got most of my learning from, because they could explain it much further than like a 30-second blurb that they have like on a video being like, oh, what is EC2? Like they'll give you the definition, but like, what does that mean to someone who doesn't know what cloud is? So for me, when I'm studying, always going to the Udemy's, the Pluralsights, and YouTube, because it's just better for me. It makes more sense for my brain as a beginner.
Okay.
So
I love the different answers, different strokes for different folks. So you guys are going to have to figure out what works for you. And you guys can participate too if y'all want in the chat. If you've studied and taken certifications, put your answer in the chat too. We can all interact here.
For sure.
For sake of time, I won't even give my opinion. I'll just keep it pushing.
I want to know.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to skim by that one.
Okay. I guess for me, I feel like I've always done. I am not a good test taker at all. Like I am the person who has to study 1,001 hours to make it make sense. But I feel like I do better on certifications if it's a topic where I have like hands-on experience. So I like recently took my DP 900, which is like the data fundamentals exam. I feel like I was able to use Microsoft directly, like their learning website, because I had experience with like Power BI and data and things like that. So some of the questions I got on the exam, I only knew because I saw it in real time, not necessarily because that scenario was presented to me while I was studying. I think because you guys are on a time crunch, you'll probably have to study more so to pass the certification and like learn it at a high level. And then probably, like Shay said, go back and dive deeper. But you have 30 days. I think you guys can do it.
Okay. Alicia, I want to repost this session, did you post about it on LinkedIn at all?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, we had like 60
Okay,
people.
cool. It's 60 people. I can't see. I want to see.
Okay, yeah, I posted about it on LinkedIn. There's like 60 people logged in. Here, let me send it to you real quick.
Hey, hi guys.
And they're from YouTube and LinkedIn, so multiple spaces.
Look, I'm growing up out here.
Okay.
While I look for the link, I'll ask y'all the next question so y'all can start using it. So,
all right, cool.
What order do you like to approach studying? Practice tests first or study materials first?
Ooh, so I'm going to use it from a different perspective. So my husband, he works at Cisco, and he knows a lot about like network engineering and the fundamentals of that. So he, since he already knows a lot about network engineering, he took the test first, a practice test, and then was like, okay, what do I need to kind of hit on? What do I need to focus on more? However, for me, since I'm a complete beginner, I feel like if I took the test first, I would be like, oh, I don't know anything. So let me not do that and psych myself out. So I would go to study materials first, and then kind of halfway through be like, let's do a practice test or a quiz even. And going back to Udemy and Pluralsight, they got those within the material. So you can kind of quiz yourself along the way. Which Udemy, if you're hearing this, I'm ready for a sponsorship.
Wait, like, where's the referral?
Like,
I would say, what do I do?
What do I do?
Now, to be honest, I feel like a foundational certification. I just jumped in, started learning, and then I did the practice test. But for the more advanced ones, like when it comes to AI, ML, I kind of want to know what I need to study. So I'll look at the practice exams first. And of course, you know, the vendors will tell you what tiers and different services they want you to look at. But I want to see some examples so I really can know what to dive into. So I think the higher that I go in levels of, what is the word I'm looking for?
I guess like complexity or difficulty.
Yeah, like levels of complexity, the higher it is, I need to see the practice example. For more foundational ones, I think I just start learning.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I think like 1 week out, I start taking the practice exams and figuring out like where do I need to, after I've studied, where do I need to go back in?
Okay, you're a different breed.
Crazy.
You're a different breed. No wonder you're at Microsoft.
Like she only needs 1 week. Okay.
I know she's like, all right, 1 week, I've got it. Okay.
Next. No. Not if we get it in 1 week. I'm saying like if we started now, right? That's 3 weeks of studying. On week 4, like so when I hit 1 week out from the date I take the exam, that's when I would start taking some practice exams.
Again.
Okay.
Again, I still was like 1 week for a practice exam.
Okay. It's not about me. It's about you guys.
All right. All right.
Not too much. Okay, so group study or solo study?
Interesting. So me and Shay have done group study before, and I think it really depends on your commitment level and then also like your time commitments, because Shay and I at the time we were trying to study, we were doing 1,000 things at once, and so we would try to get up at 6 a.m.
Oh my
to
gosh,
study. Yeah, that was painful. And like we were reading yeah, of course you forgot. It was at 6 a.m. So that was tough. But I think when you're doing like labs and stuff, having that group is essential, because even in the Cozy Cloud crew, when they're like having difficulties with the labs that you guys created, like they're able to be like, hey, let's hop on a call. Hey, let's go on a Zoom. Like, let's do something together so we can problem solve as a team, as you would normally for your job. So I think it depends on what you're studying for. So yeah, that's fine.
Same for you, Shay, or different opinion on the group or solo?
I actually, I like groups. Yeah, I do agree. You have to have a certain level of commitment. When I was studying for my associate level certification with Google, I did it with a group, and we would study, of course, by yourself, but every night we would study as a group, and we'd go through at least 20 questions and then go over why we thought that was right, why that was wrong. Anything that was wrong, we wrote it down, and we made sure that we kind of went back and recalled and was like, okay, why did that make sense? And so it kind of really implemented why you would use that service. Instead of trying to just memorize answers, you're really, why did that make sense? Why? So when you get even to an interview level, I think that helps. You know what I mean? So I like group study.
Yeah, I'm here for that too. Yeah. Also, we had a like comment in the chat that I don't think we mentioned yet. So Code Capsule, they mentioned that they use a lot of like third-party vendors, but they use a lot of the documentation. Do either of you use like the documentation to study? For me, I haven't really used that too much. If I have a specific question, I might go to the documentation and like white papers, but not for my certifications. How about you?
I do like the documentation, mainly because like sometimes when
I'm done logging out.
I feel like I need to see things like I feel like I need to learn all three different ways, right? Some people are video, some people are like whatever visual learners, writing. I need to do all of it. So I think like I just read for like an hour, it helps me like embed it. Then when I see it again in a video, the dots like start to connect. So for me, it's like repetition. I have to like hear it.
Okay. So, yeah. I get
and
that.
I can get to the point. Sometimes with those videos you're scrubbing through like, okay, what do I need out of this?
Fair enough. Yeah.
Okay, guys, this is the last one on certifications. Taking one exam at a time. No, that is not even the question I want to ask you guys. Scheduling one exam, like scheduling the exam in advance or waiting until you feel ready. So basically, do you set your date in advance or do you wait until you're ready and then you sign up?
In advance. I like to put a date on it because if my money is on the line, I'm cutting out all distractions. You want me to go where? I can't. I literally have an exam in 3 weeks. I feel like when you don't put money on it, when you don't schedule it, you'll come up with every excuse to keep pushing it back and pushing it back. So I schedule it. Like I give myself a month for every certification, but don't go off me if you need 6 weeks, 2 months that, you know your schedule better than anybody else. But I know for me, I lock in for a month and I'm taking it.
Yeah, we'll definitely say the same. I mean, even the other AWS creators that I've talked to, like Aaron, Linda, Greg, that they always say like, make sure you schedule it in advance. That way you have like a date to really like work up to, and you can kind of see if you're on pace or not. Because you're spending like, a month on EC2. Do you really need that for that certification? Probably not. So it helps you keep on pace for my world.
On one, like we all came together on that on set. It really helps you prioritize it. Like, no, I have this certification. I can't do anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, guys. We have a little bit of time. So a few more questions. Then we're going to get into how do we learn this content? What do we need to do? How do we pass? Everything. I'm excited for that part. But okay, let's switch to corporate careers, right? Because obviously these people are taking the certifications. They want to get the job at some point, or maybe they want to skill. So work from home or work in office. This is very controversial.
So if you're paying me a lot of money, I'll work anywhere for you. Okay. Anything above a certain dollar amount, you'll get me in office. But I think for me, I love working from home for multiple reasons. A, I focus better by myself. B, when I'm like around people, I get very like focused on, not people watch, but like, maybe people watch and like, oh, what is that person doing? Oh, who's that? That person looks new. Are they a VP? No. Like, I get very distracted by that. Whereas at home, if I have like a bad day or a bad call, I can be like, you know what? Anything but Zoom, going outside, going to my bed, crying, and then moving forward. Whereas like, if you're in a corporate environment, you might not be able to cry in your cubicle very discreetly. So that's my opinion.
I would have to say hybrid for me. I love the work-life balance of being home, especially because I have children. Like, so if they need something from school or whatever, I'm here. I can cook dinner. I can do all those things. But I like being around people. When I'm in the house, there's too many things for me to do. I will raid this pantry. Okay. I literally have 10 snacks here even right now. And it's just not good for me. So I thrive on environments where other people are being productive. So like, even if it's not in the office, I need to be in some co-working place, some co-working space, and everybody's doing something. It's like an energy. It's like, okay, everybody's working. Let me lock in. Because if you don't, then you look like you're just being lazy. So, perception is what being perceived. Accountability.
Yeah, that's fair. How about you?
I'm definitely on the hybrid side. I was remote for a very long time. I do like working from home, like you said, Kat, being able to just focus, no distractions. You can kind of turn, notifications off and do what you need to do. Also the efficiency side, right? Like if I don't have to commute 30 minutes to an hour in anywhere, I could just spend that obviously working a little bit longer. But I do feel like working in person, like I get to collaborate more and hear more conversations and learn more about my coworkers. Like if I bump into someone in the elevator, I'll ask them like, how was your weekend? Or, you know, I like your shoes, whatever. And it builds a relationship. You don't really go on like Teams and just randomly ping somebody and say like, hey, you know, like, how are your kids?
I like your shoes.
You know, whatever. So I think it's easier to like network and meet people and build relationships outside of just like, hey, can you do this task? Hey, can you do this task? So
yeah.
So I have like a question for that. So a lot of companies, of course, have been really reinforcing like going in the office for that exact reason. They use collaboration as one of their key tactics to be like, oh, collaboration. So my thing with that is like, what is like stopping you from having like collaboration on Teams? Like obviously you said like a natural interaction, like, oh, love your shirt, love your shoes, love your outfit, love your vibe, whatever. Like that's a really natural way to be like, oh, who are you? Whereas like Teams, you have to try a little bit harder. But like, what is your perception on that? I'm curious because whenever I hear companies say like, oh, collaboration, I'm like, well, what is Teams for?
yeah,
So,
great question.
like, I'm curious.
So I feel like when I'm in office, I can hear conversations that are being had, and it's okay to insert yourself in that. Like if I wasn't on that team meeting, I wouldn't even know that that was happening unless someone looped me in. So sometimes you'll hear conversations, you're like, oh, that ties into something I was working in. Like, let me learn it, like lean in and learn more about that. Or even if you're doing things, like sometimes on Teams, I feel like I might be bugging someone because you don't know what they're in the middle of doing. So you don't want to ping them and like distract them.
Interesting.
But like
Okay.
in the office, it's like I see you. It's like, oh, hey, like let's just go grab a room and discuss whatever initiative we're working on and like get unblocked. So I do think it allows you to move faster and collaborate. I think hybrid is the best solution. Like let people be flexible, work from home when they need to, like do their own thing, but also bring people in office so that way they can, you know, just build stronger bonds.
Interesting. Okay. I think for me, like what I'm hearing from you and Shay both is that you guys have a very like forward, like interactionary type of personality where like someone like me or someone who's more introverted, they would be like, I'm not inserting myself into that conversation. They're busy. Whereas you on Teams are like, I would want to ping that person because I don't know what they're doing. Whereas me, I could be like, oh, let me ping them. They can get to it whenever is my thought process.
Ooh, that is good perspective. I am naturally
you know, don't respond right away. You know, it's okay. It's Teams. I'll get
You
back
said
to you eventually.
You're an introvert?
I'm actually an introvert.
You'll never know that. So every time I talk to anyone, they're like, you're an extrovert. Even my manager is like, you're an extrovert. I'm like, no, very much to my face. Like right there, love it. Anything out of there, it takes a lot for me to like, you know, get myself out of that shell, which is why I started TikTok and LinkedIn and Instagram, all this different stuff to get better at talking because I was so scared to talk in front of people. But now I've gotten good at it and I know how to do it. But yeah, even in a corporate environment, now I would bother you. But like before, I was like, I don't want to talk to them. They seem important.
Wow.
Yeah.
But now you're a natural for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it took that skill. Like I worked really hard on that. You can ask my husband. Like I didn't talk to nobody for a long time.
Funny. Okay.
Yeah.
We learn stuff about each other as we like answer these questions and help. Okay, this is my last one, and then we're going to get into the nitty gritty. Standing up desk or sitting desk?
Both.
Standing.
Both. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm standing right now.
I'm standing.
Yeah.
I'm standing
as for me. Love both though.
Yeah. I like the options too. I need to be able to move around. Sitting all day, it just hurts. I'm getting old. I can't, my back, my knees.
That part.
Yeah, I feel the opposite. When I'm standing, maybe I put too much weight on like one side or something. Like my knee starts to hurt.
Lopsided. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, all right, guys. I'm about to jump into some things. You guys can feel free to hang out. I will have a beginner moment real quick. Kat, I don't know if I should keep you guys on stage or like how that works. I don't want it to be awkward for y'all, but
yeah. I mean,
you can go to the back, you know?
Go to the back.
Yeah, and if you want us to comment on stuff, like just bring us back up.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe y'all can raise your hand or go in the chat if y'all want to jump in anywhere.
I don't want a private chat.
I think you can put us backstage, and then if you want us to come on, again,
Just bring us
back on stage.
Just
Y'all coaching me up.
Yeah.
Okay, any last words of advice, just in case I never figure out how to get you guys back up?
Words of advice for me, take it slow. Like, I know we're pushing you to do it in like a month, but take your time. Like, if you're struggling on something, take a day, take a moment, and then regroup for the next. Like, you got time. 30 days is a lot. Prioritize and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree. I tend to do too much, so don't go off what I'm saying. But I will say, just lock in. It sounds so cliche, especially when everybody's saying it, but it's true. If you're going to do this, pace yourself, but really do it. Don't the way I look at it is, I'm paying money, pretend that you're in college again, and this is your college course. You have a grade at the end, pass or fail, like not pass or fail, but you have to take this. So imagine that you landing your next role or everything is you graduating, and you have to get this if you want to graduate. Not saying you do, but that's the way I like to think of it. So it makes me accountable. Like, okay, I'm waking up. I know that every day at 9 a.m. I'm studying. You know what I mean? So I would just say be consistent.
I like the pressure.
Intentional.
Yeah, I like the pressure that you put on yourself. Like, make it feel like it has to happen. It's all or nothing. Okay, I'm going to put you guys on backstage. Thank you guys so much, friends, for the icebreaker. People in the comments said that they love the combo already. Somebody said, oh, here we go. Someone said Shay just got my AWS Cloud Practitioner and she's architect professional. So
let's go.
Love it.
That's awesome. I love when people get their certification. It feels like all the work you put in was worth it. You know what I mean? Like that holds weight. That shows that you took the time to do what you have to do. So congratulations, man.
Especially the solutions architect. Like that is no joke, knowing how everything works together. So kudos to you. Shout out to you. Okay, friends. Thanks so much, guys. All right, guys. Shout out to Shay and Kat. They're just phenomenal people at the Cozy Cloud Crew. If you're not a part of their Discord, go and join. They are growing every single day. They're like 6,000 people. I know a lot of you all are here to understand, how to study for these vouchers, how to effectively, pass this exam in really less than 30 days at this point. And I want to go over some resources that you all can use to accelerate your learning journey. Shay and Kat gave a lot of gems between using documentation from the vendor, using videos from Udemy and YouTube. And I'll show you all some of the things we put together to make this process a little bit easier for you all. So let me share my screen really quick. One thing I did want to call out for the people who are actually using the vouchers, like if you were one of the winners, first and foremost, congratulations to you. We did only have 50 to give out, so I'm sorry that everyone couldn't get one, but I am working with people. I have had a few people say that they aren't able to, take their exam. They're studying for another one. So I might have a few more to go out. So if you have anyone in the Cozy Cloud Crew who did the DevOps Challenge, let them know to tap into these sessions. I love to do like random live giveaways or whatever, but I want to make sure that every certification is used because, obviously someone paid for them and I don't want them to go to waste. So please, like Shay said, like Kat said, we all agreed, setting up that date puts the urgency on you. The certification or the vouchers expire on the 13th. So go ahead and schedule your exam now and let me know which one you guys sign up for. Because shout out to Kat. I should have had her announce it when she was on stage. She set up different study groups within the Discord for you all based on what exam you're taking. So if you're a part of Cozy Cloud Crew, join the Discord. You'll see right now we have a AZ900 Azure Fundamentals study group, and then we have a AZ104 study group as well. So you all can collaborate and take that together. I sent you all documentation on how to register for the exam in case it was your first time signing up for one. But I want to get into this GitHub repository, and I will drop this in the chat for you all. This is a GitHub repo for those of you who have been following along on the Azure Challenge. This is where like the labs are, but I created a folder. I've only been able to do the AZ900. I'm going to go through and do this for the other certifications, but I created a little study guide based on two scenarios, right? So someone who might be an absolute beginner who's coming in and trying to learn the cloud, starting off with AZ 900, and then maybe someone who's starting from another cloud provider like AWS or GCP and trying to pivot into Azure itself. So we're going to walk through this together just here in a second, but I know like the first question is like, before I start studying, like, how do I know which certification I need to choose? When we did the live last week, a lot of people asked about that. So you'll see this link to the role-based Azure certification path. You'll find that here in this repo, right? So that is this link here, right? Certification and courses listed right here. So the way I suggest approaching studying for any certification is, I say, like, think about what part of the cloud you're most interested in and follow that path, right? So any of your 900 level courses are going to be your like foundational, beginner friendly intro to the cloud style courses, right? So the most popular one is the AZ 900. That is just cloud fundamentals, overview of Azure itself. And you'll see it's like a prerequisite for a lot of the tracks. I do apologize, this image is a little blurry, but you all can click the link in the GitHub documentation to actually see it, and I'll read it out loud. But so that's for the Azure side. Now, if you're interested in data, there's a DP 900 where it just focuses solely on Azure data fundamentals. We do have someone who's actually registered for this exam, as well as the AZ 900. So you all can form some study groups if you decide to go into data. But I'll keep it at a high level, and then we'll kind of work our way down from there. The next track is AI 900, right? So once again, that is foundational. As you can see, it's the Azure AI fundamentals. So it's going to be the beginner intro to AI while using Azure. So those are like the three beginner friendly kind of starting points that everyone can optionally take as they try to get or build up to these overall like badges. So it shows you the roadmap verbatim, which certifications, what the number is, and what the name of it is to achieve certain badges. So I know Shay is pretty interested in like AI as an example. So like if Shay was coming into Azure and she wanted to get certified, her path would be starting off with the AI 900, which is optional. She doesn't have to take it, but that'll be her intro. And then she could take AI 102, designing and implementing Azure AI solutions. And she would get this badge that says Azure AI Engineer. And you're able to claim those and put those on LinkedIn. So shout out to like these paths. As you can see, it's broken down by DevOps, if you're interested in cloud development, becoming an Azure administrator. There's a lot of people signed up right now for AZ 104. So that'll be a pretty interesting study group to get the Azure administrative badge. And then security, that's another like big focal point, AZ 500. If you want to figure out how to secure Azure resources, that's another option for you. Architecting technologies, that's AZ 305. And then the data engineer, right? So you could take the DP 900, that fundamental exam, couple it with the 202, implementing an Azure data solution, and then the 203, designing an Azure data solution, and you can get your Azure data engineer badge. So I don't want to be too redundant and walk through each role with you all, but to summarize, which certification should you take? Anything at the 900 level is going to be beginner friendly. AZ is Azure, DP is data, AI is AI. Those are the beginner friendly ones. And then based on where you're interested in your career, follow these paths to get certified in that regard. So let me actually show this. This is the link to that GitHub documentation I just walked through. So feel free to drop any questions in the chat, and I will get to those. Like I said, please direct message me and let me know which certification you are taking, and let me know that you registered for your certification, so that way I know that the voucher is getting consumed. So we have study groups right now for AZ 900, Cloud Fundamentals, and AZ 104, Azure Admin Associate. That's where we have the most people right now. As we get more people signed up for more of the certifications, Kat and Shay will be more than willing to create study groups, so that way we can save that documentation there. So jumping in really quickly to like how to study or where to study. If you're totally new into the Microsoft ecosystem, I created a study guide for the AZ900, the Azure Fundamentals. I am going to create similar study guides for each of the certifications. But let's make this collaborative, right? Like, I don't know everything. I don't know what works best for everybody. So this is a great starting point. But if you have recommendations, please create pull requests to these and get resources added in. I don't want to overwhelm people, but I do want them to have like options to study. So as I said earlier, right, it's two different tracks. People who are totally new into the cloud, and then people who might be familiar with another cloud provider. And I gave free learning resources because we all love free, right? Like, who wants to spend more money on any of this stuff when you can do it for free? And then also I included in some of the like paid options through like Udemy and Pluralsight. So if you're totally new into like the world of Microsoft and Azure or Azure, Microsoft Learn is going to be your best friend, because this is where they have a combination of like technical documentation that you can go through, as well as some videos depending on like the content that they're teaching. And you can go through the path step by step and learn like the basic kind of like paths that they're looking to test you on, right? So this is like being able to describe cloud concepts is one pillar. Describing Azure architecture and service is another pillar. Describing Azure management and government is another pillar. So as you can see, like just on the Microsoft course alone, this is like what, 5 hours of studying. So you could get through this like relatively quickly in a week if you were just dedicating like 1 hour a day to going through this information. But on top of like prepping for the exam, this is another great resource to actually go and take your practice exams. So after you go through the course, you can take a practice assessment. It'll tell you if you would pass or fail if it was like the real assessment or like whatever your score is. And it even tells you like where you need to go back and probably brush up a little bit more and focus on. So you can definitely take these to start to figure out where your knowledge gaps are. And then if you're totally new, this is your first time ever taking a certification, I think this is pretty cool. You can get the experience of like what the exam is going to feel like. That way you'll be able to see like what are the type of questions. Sometimes it's like drag and drops or different prompts that they have you going through. And then obviously you can schedule your exam from here. So that is a very, very helpful resource. That's directly from Microsoft Learn, the official one. Shay said, is there a deadline? That's a great question. Yes, these vouchers expire on April 13th. So if you got a voucher, please schedule your exam on or before April 13th. Someone tried to schedule it afterwards and it did not work at all. So it has to be before April 13th to get that done. But all right, cool. So that's like the MS Learn and then Azure documentation. Like if you're going through MS Learn and there's like a specific service or that you might, or a specific product that you're not grasping and you want to like deep dive on that specific product, you can come here and search for that and read up on like some of the documentation around that one specifically. So that's technical documentation. Now, we obviously have different learners, right? Some people like Kat, she said she loves to go on YouTube and Udemy and things like that. So I didn't create this YouTube playlist, but I also linked in some YouTube playlists for you all from MS Learn directly. And this is someone who I highly recommend, John Seville. He actually works at Microsoft. He created an AZ900 fundamentals exam. If you're not taking AZ900, it's okay. Like I'm going to create this, like I said, for other exams. And he has playlists for other exams. I actually used him for my DP900 study cram. And it really helped me just get an overview of all of the data services out there. So boom, you'll have a section for video tutorials. So you have your technical documentation, you got your video tutorials, and then last but not least, you'll have an opportunity to do some hands-on practice labs, right? So if you're someone who's like, hey, I need to really get in the user interface, get on the website and get my hands dirty, this will be an opportunity for you to go through and start creating different Azure services out there kind of with your free trial account. Now, I have an Azure free trial account. I created one when we started the DevOps Challenge. I kid you not, it has not billed me 1 cent. Like all of the labs I've created for you guys, I haven't been billed at all yet. So you can really go a long way with that. So somebody said, sorry, I just joined. How do I get started? This might have been shared. Sorry. Here, I'm going to drop this GitHub link for you all again, so that way you can take it down. This GitHub link has all of the labs and all of the projects in it, so you can follow along with studying or getting some of the hands-on labs from the DevOps Challenge. But cool. We already talked about practice tests to kind of confirm your knowledge. And then if you want any of the paid learning, obviously you have access to Udemy and Pluralsight. I really, really enjoy these courses as well. The two instructors that I recommended are people who I've learned from before. Let me see, where's Scott at? Scott on Udemy. Scott Duffy has been extremely helpful in my career. Shout out to Scott himself. So you'll have a lot of options at a lot of different price points. You'll be able to go and do whatever works best for you. Now, on these specific sessions, because we have people taking a bunch of different certifications, the most effective way to approach it is going to be for us to like watch a video together, make it fun. At the end, we can do a pop quiz, a little like Q&A, ask questions about different services, and make sure we're actually like retaining the information. So this will just be like a weekly checkpoint for all of us to come together, study together, make it fun, and then you all can hold yourselves accountable in your individual groups in the Discord Cozy Cloud Crew that Shay and Kat created. So I will get these guides out as soon as this call ends. I will start creating them, so expect more guides for more exams housed there. One other thing I did want to show you all, because a lot of you all came in through one cloud provider and you might be interested in becoming like cloud agnostic or learning multi-cloud, is the ability to actually translate some of the services from one cloud to another. So in this study guide down at the bottom, this is for people who might be familiar with a different cloud provider. There's this service mapping here that shows you what all of the similarities and differences are between each cloud, and then it breaks it down like based on the topic, like service, storage, data, compute, etc. It'll show you a one-to-one translation between what it is in that cloud, what the name of it is, and then what it would be in Azure. So if you're studying and you start to get overwhelmed, like, oh, I know what this is in AWS, but I might not know what the name of it is in Azure, you can lean back on this documentation and be able to like translate it over to whatever cloud you are using. So this will probably be handy to keep in your back pocket when you're ramping up and learning another cloud. So I'm excited, guys. Like, let me see if I missed anything. I think you have everything. Decide what certification you want to take. I'll pull Shay and Kat back up if you guys want to come from backstage. But decide what certification you want to take. Go ahead and get it scheduled so that way you have a date set. Go through these study guides and start to learn in whatever format you learn best, documentation, videos, Udemy, YouTube, you name it. Let me know as you find new resources so we can share it out with our friends. And like, yeah, let's pass in 30 days. But Shay and Kat, I want to definitely bring you guys back on just in case, I might have missed anything, or you want to add in any 2 cents or how you're feeling.
I think you covered it, bestie. I think you covered it really, really well. Christopher had a question in the chat he just dropped for you. I'm not sure exactly what they mean, but
yeah, I could take a jab at that. Yes, the Udemy courses are in the GitHub as well. So there's that GitHub that has like the Azure 30-day challenge or whatever that we created. Within there's a folder that says Azure certifications. Once you click on that README document, it has links to specific Udemy and Pluralsight videos. Excellent. So yeah, somebody get Kat a link so we can start making money off
recommending. Also, we just have someone booked for April 9th.
How
amazing. Oh my gosh. I love it. I'm excited. I'm really excited. And for free. You
Right.
got one vouchers. That's really
Yes, absolutely. And I think my only advice is the stuff we always say, even when we did the other challenge, build out loud, even if it feels like nobody is paying attention. Continue to build out loud. You know what I mean? In any format that works for you. And you never have to feel like you are an expert at something. I'm not an expert at any of this stuff. And I make sure that I'm very genuine when I'm writing, whether it's documentation or I'm just sharing it with you guys. Like, this is what I learned today. This is how I would implement it for a service. I like to say, like, get creative with it. If you have a dream company you want to work at, really start coming up with ideas for that company with services that you could use, Azure, and implement it with that company and be like, this is a project idea I have for Aquafina or whatever. But it helps to kind of build this story and show people what you're interested in, but also, how intelligent you are. So definitely just build out loud.
That's a good gem. I feel like as you become an engineer, like if you experience any problem, you automatically start thinking about like how you would solve it or build it out like for that application. So that's a great gem.
Yes.
Overall, killed it. Alicia, congrats on this successful challenge that you're endeavoring on. And thank you for inviting us on for this call. We'll be in the chat following along and learning with you guys. I will be booking mine for the last possible day because I'm starting
exactly
literally tonight. So I need all the time in the world. So all you people that booked it for April 9th, good for you. But yeah, I'm excited. If anybody is, I can use that for the AI one, right?
Yeah, you can use it for you. If you have a voucher, you can use it for any certification. So the world is yours.
Yeah. So if anybody's studying for the AI one, let me know. But I wouldn't recommend that. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're new to this, not true to this. Stick to what Alicia already recommended. Don't do too much, not too much now. But I'll be here if anybody wants to study for the AI one together. Let me know.
That's dope. Yeah, studying with Shay and Kat is gonna be so lit. Just because they started the group, so it's so cool to interact with them, like that they're in the trenches with you guys. Someone asked in the chat, how can they get a voucher? So we did give away all 50 Azure vouchers, but we are still giving away some AWS vouchers. If you all wanted to talk about that part really quickly.
Yeah. Shay, do you want to lead off?
Yeah. So we have 4 AWS vouchers that we are giving away. That was part of the AWS challenge that we just completed, kind of wrapped up. And so if you're not a part of the Discord, all the information is in there. Kat, if it's okay, because you dropped the link for our Discord so that people can see it.
Yes.
And it's open to anybody. It was like a 30-day DevOps challenge. So if you're not familiar, again, all that information is in there, and we'll be picking a winner for those vouchers. When are we doing that?
I think next week.
Next Friday.
Next Friday. So yeah,
yep.
You have time. You have time to put together some type of project really quickly if you would like to. And yeah, but again, check it out and good luck.
Yes. And eventually we'll have more stuff to give away for a new challenge. Who knows when, but stay tuned in the chat.
Yes.
For sure. Okay, quick question. Can we get a hashtag going for this certification journey? I love that.
Ooh. Yes.
I'm going to rely on Shay and Kat. They're way more creative than me, but we'll come up with a hashtag for it.
We'll figure it out. If you have any recommendations, drop it in the Discord or drop it in this chat. You do. You said AZ certified. I mean, that's cool.
We need something a little zestier.
The Cozy Cloud Crew.
Exactly.
The DevOpsAllStarChallenge, but I like this. I like the thought for sure.
Thought is good.
Yeah.
Thought is good. We need something specific to this challenge. You know what I mean? So get creative. But we'll think of something.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
We'll be pondering it.
We'll be back every Thursday. Every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Next session, we're actually going to be studying together, live Q&As, rolling up our sleeves, getting into the trenches. This was just a kickoff call for you all. So, I appreciate you all tapped in. If Shay and Kat don't have any closing words, I'll see you guys in the cloud.
Hey!
Boom, here we go. This is the Discord. Make sure you guys join the Cozy Cloud Crew with them.
Yeah.
But yeah. Think Shay and Kat, or we out of here?
We still live. You gotta cut it off.
I mean, yo, I'm still learning my way around here. All right.
I'm gonna hop off. I'll catch y'all in the chat.
All right, y'all.
All right, bye.